So next up is Robert Fairchild. Michael and Robert and I and a number of people here have been to some story slams at Mass Mouth, and Michael gave us this idea that you could combine personal story and the words of Shakespeare. And I put that word in Robert's ear, and he took the word and ran with it. So, Robert Fairchild.
Trust me, I will get around to Shakespeare through this thing. I was encouraged by, on my way here today, I drove down the Revere Beach Parkway and I saw Everett High playing Leominster High in a JV football game, and I thought, there's a sign from the gods, the football gods at least, that this is correct. So, it was a late summer or early fall of the year I graduated from high school. I don't know how or why the idea of forming a park league football team came about. We were a group of 18 to 20-year-old high school dropouts to college-bound young guys who grew up in the Day Square area of East Boston. We were young, hung out on corners together, played schoolyard games together, played tag football together. But I don't think more than one or two of us had ever put on pads and actually tackled anyone in their life. But we did manage to raise about 16 people who were interested in playing. And at that point we realized we were all going to have to go both ways, which in football terms was okay as a lifestyle choice that hadn't quite come up for any of us yet. At 6 feet and 190 pounds, I was the second largest player on the team. And as like half the team, I was always called by my last name, never by my first. It was always, Fairchild, you're playing left tackle today. But the other half of the team had some interesting names. Our 5'4", 120-pound wide receiver, Tony Pisano, who was a very dark-skinned Sicilian who went by the name of Pygmy. Our quarterback, Richie Santoro, was called Jungle for some unknown reason. And along with a very weak arm, he had the distinct disadvantage of having a glass left eye, which gave new meaning to blindsiding the quarterback. And we had a bunch of other guys named Flea and Gito and Mo Fine and Bishi. And so it was always fun at game time with these names flying around. Our best athlete on the team, Ray Dondoloni, and our 300-pound lineman, Victor Santabio, hardly ever came to practice and very often didn't show up for games. They were in the beginnings of a heroin habit, so they hardly ever came around. In this whole mess, we were aided and assisted by our coach, Billy Stuffles. He was the cousin of Anthony Maneri, who played guard next to me. Billy had actually played high school football, but his coaching ability and his play calling were terrible. And so every week, twice a week, for 2 hours, we would practice in preparation for Sunday's game. We lost the first 5 games of our 6-game season. My best effort came in game number 4. I was playing left tackle, and it was a pass play, and I managed to knock my man down, and I set up back to form some pass protection for Jungle. When I looked to my left, and I saw a blitzing safety from the other team heading right towards Richie's blind side. So I started running to the left, hoping I could stop this tackle from happening, but Jungle, with his arm cocked back, was directly between us. At the last possible second, he stepped up into the passing pocket, and I ran with my forearm right through the face mask of the opposing player, knocking him unconscious on the ground. We lost that game. The following Sunday, in our last game, Coach Stuffles called us all together before the game to give his first and only inspirational speech. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that lives today and sees old age will stand a tiptoe when the day is named and rouse him in the name of Crispian. He that lives today and sees old age will yearly, on the vigil, feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is Crispin's day. Then shall he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what deeds he did that day. Then shall our names, as familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man tell his son. and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day until the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We feud, we happy feud, we band of brothers, for today, who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Be he ne'er so vile, this day shall gentle his condition. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whilst any speak who fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day. Unfortunately, Coach Stuffles didn't give that speech. He looked at us and said, "Go out there and don't get humiliated." So we went out and we got humiliated. We lost the 6th and final game of our season and many of our careers on a sunny fall day in East Boston Stadium. Thank you.